right, here we go. Question number 2 from our Precalculus homework number 13 in MyLab Math. It says, given the pattern continues, write down the nth term of the sequence, which is represented by a sub n, suggested by this sequence. So here we have a sequence of fractions. We're going to have to come up with a formula that will generate this sequence. So, to the scratch work. Now, to figure out this general term, we're going to have to use our investigative skills. We know that for our general term, to generate the first term of the sequence, when n is 1, I've got to get 1/6. And then to get the next term of the sequence, we know that when n is 2, I have to get 2/7. So we're going to look at the pattern in the numerator and the denominator separately in order to come up with the general term that is apparently going to be a fraction. In the numerator, I notice that n is 1, n is 2, so on and so forth. It appears the numerator simply needs to be n, so that when I plug in a 1, I get the first numerator. When I plug in a 2, I get the second numerator, and the pattern does continue. Now the other thing is, when I plug in a 1 in the denominator, I must get a 6. So the only way that 1 can become 6 is if I add 5 to it. Now I say the only way that can happen. I could also multiply by 6. But that would break down when it comes to the second term. Because if I let the denominator be represented by 6n, that would satisfy the first denominator. 6 times 1 is 6. But moving to the next denominator, n must be 2, and 6 times 2 is not 7. So it cannot be 6 times n. It's going to have to be n plus 5, because that is the only way that we can get a 7 when n is 2. 2 plus 5 is 7. And then it does have to continue to work. So next, if n is 3, 5 plus 3 is 8, and the pattern continues. And at this point, we now have a general term, so that when I let n be 1, 2, 3, so on and so forth, it generates the terms of the sequence. And so now we're going to take this back to our MyLab Math and see if we're right. And forgive me if the print got smaller. I had to zoom out a bit so I could fit this in the window. Our general term that we came up with to represent the terms of the sequence was n over n plus 5. You might want to be careful and make sure that you use the appropriate variable. If you use x's, the MyLab Math may freak out. And so check, and we're done. So if you have any questions or comments about anything covered in this video, please feel free to leave those in the comment section below, or you can text me, and thanks for watching.